Okie dokie. So this is a very powerful day. This is Thanksgiving Day. I was just flying over there at the park, and there was heaps of people around. But I did get a little bit of good flying in. First, I tried to fly my new Eachine Racer 250 Pro, and maybe you can see that it did not go that well. It's pretty close to default settings on clean flight, and I guess I need to make some adjustments to the throttle and the motors. Did not have any grade in there. I mean, it was like a rocket up into the air, so it went way up out of control, And I crashed, and I didn't even get to fly it. And I have spare arms, plenty of them. So I will replace the arm, and I'm gonna tune the throttle way down, all the way down or something. I don't know. I gotta do some studying and check up on maybe common Eachine Racer 250 Pro settings. But looks like I need to replace two arms. So that was Nutty Nuggets. In other news, I'm super stoked to see if my new microphone mounting will reduce any of the wind rush that comes off of the props. I really felt that I was getting a lot better motor sounds coming in to my screen, but I didn't, I'm gonna go check out the DVR footage and see what's going on. So even though my Racer 250 Pro, which by the way is so much more relatively powerful than this, which is heavy, the Racer 250 Pro, if I get it set up right, I'm sure that it'll be the only one I want to fly because it's just so much faster. I mean, it went up into the air like a model rocket. This is like a tank, which is still very fun. I really enjoy it. But we'll see what happens because, this can go places that I want to go, and it flies well there. I mean, it doesn't need as much room as something that's going really fast. It needs a lot more room. So we'll see what happens, what I like, how everything goes, which copter gets the most action. This is just going to take so much work setting it up. It'll be a while before I can actually just go and fly it, because the PIDs were also off. It was oscillating a lot. So there were multiple settings that with the default clean flight settings that, I mean, I didn't try to fly it. I really didn't even try to fly it. I just tried to get some throttle and then just tried to check and see how the rates were going on a little bit, like what did they look like, and I couldn't even control it in that scenario. I needed to crank the throttle way down. So barely any throttle on the stick resulted in quite a bit of air. I mean, I couldn't even do the low hover. I couldn't even do it. Any amount of upward hover was so much upward thrust that I just couldn't even control it. And it's too bad about flying so close to all these people and having to constantly not be flying or get out of the way and stuff, but it's Thanksgiving, so that's what happens, is that you gotta avoid everybody. And it's too bad about my broken copter, but what do you expect? I mean, I just don't really have a good place to test without coming all the way to the park. So I did try to test it at my house, and I did actually turn the throttle. I gave it some expo before I came over here, but I think some expo is not going to cut it. I mean, it needs completely different settings. And so my preference is that I'm going to look it up, and I'm going to see what kind of settings people put on it. And then I'll look at mine, and if it looks really logical, like the throttle is a lot lower, and the rates are higher, and the PIDs look different, like maybe there's way too much P gain on the defaults, then I'm gonna just adopt those settings and then I'll take it for another test after I replace the arms, which I do have some extra arms. They're not the right color, but I guess everyone gets to know that I cannot fly that thing straight off the bat.